Hello, everybody. I'm Stuart Noakes, head of tax and a partner at Carpenter Box. And I guess, like me, you're all getting to grips with all the announcements that were made in yesterday's budget. I was reading the BBC website and it described it as a big budget, big on spend, big on tax, and big on borrowing. As people in business, we were also looking for signs of what this would mean for growth because Labour have come to power saying that they're going to have policies that are aimed at growth. So I was interested to see what the impact of the budget would be on growth. And I also saw a little chart, a very helpful chart on the BBC website that suggested, to me, there was going to be minimal impact on growth as a result of all of this. So we'll actually wait and see how that unfolds. Yeah, but getting back to tax, the big figure that was quoted yesterday was 40 billion. This was a budget to raise 40 billion in tax. And to me, there is little doubt that the lion's share of this will be tax on business and business owners. And there are four key areas that I wanted to mention today. The first is employers' national insurance, and employers' national insurance is going up. It's stated that this is going to raise up to 25 billion of the 40 billion increase. So it's a big ticket item. The rate of employers' national insurance is increasing from 13.8% to 15%, an increase of 1.2. But perhaps more interestingly, the threshold at which contributions start to apply is going to reduce from a salary of 9,100 down to 5,000. Now, a year or so ago, somebody told me that the average wage, for an employee in Brighton and Hove was around 33,000. So I've done some calculations, and to me, it works out that that average employee in Brighton and Hove, the employer would now be paying or will be paying £900 more in employers' national insurance for that person on an average Brighton and Hove wage. There is an employment allowance, sort of a deduction that employers can enjoy against the national insurance that they have to pay, and that is increasing. It's going up from 5,000 to 10,500. Yeah, so to me, with the average employee at about £900 increase, that employment allowance is going to cover somewhere around 6 employees. So if you're at that sort of level of a small employer, you may be okay. You might be better off. But certainly for those of us with larger workforces, we are going to be significantly impacted. And to give you an idea of that, if you were an employer with a workforce of say 100 employees, this, all on that sort of Brighton and Hove average wage, this increase in national insurance is equivalent to the cost of employing 3 employees. So whether that's going to have an impact on the way that you view the workforce, maybe it just gives a sense of perspective in all of this. So what might we see? We'll probably see the owner managers, in this world recalibrating, how they take um, their remuneration out of the business, the old salary versus dividend model, or whether it's interest on a director's loan or rent if you own a property and rent it to the business. Always this constant recalibration of those positions, and no doubt we'll see another one. But we might also see employers looking at flexible benefits. If a bare salary is going to be more expensive, maybe employers will look at providing the sorts of benefits that come with certain exemptions from the normal sorts of taxes. It might be things like pensions, it might be things like relevant life cover. There are a whole host of them. So that's something that we might see as a reaction to the change. The second area that I wanted to look at was capital gains tax, and in particular business asset disposal relief, something that affects many business owners. I suspect most people out there would associate the relief with a 10% rate of tax, as opposed to the current main rate, which is usually 20%. Now, this rate is increasing. It's going from 10% to 14% on the 6th of April 2025, and it's going up on 6th of April 2026 to 18%. Now, with effect from today, the main rate has increased to 24%. So, by the time the changes to business asset disposal relief have fully kicked in, I would see it as a 6% discount on a lifetime allowance of qualifying gains up to £1 million. So perhaps the discount to a business owner out there going forwards is up to £60,000, as you say, 6% on a million. The third area I wanted to mention, where changes are significant, is in inheritance tax for business owners. And for many, many years, business owners have enjoyed a relief, or should I say, the estate of business owners have enjoyed a relief known as business property relief or business relief, which excludes 100% of the value of someone's business or shares in a privately owned trading company, 100% of the value from the inheritance tax calculation. Now, this is going to be curtailed significantly from the 6th of April 2026. Going forward from that date, 100% of the first million of value will still be exempt and covered by the relief, but thereafter the rate drops to 50%. So if we looked at an estate of somebody who died owning a business worth £10 million, the change is that now that estate will face an increase in the inheritance tax liability of 1.8 million. That's quite significant. This relief has been around for years because it's aimed at, I think, business continuity. So, we're going to have to see what impact that has on, you might say, the continuity of business. Businesses that are left to spouses shouldn't be affected by all of this. But what I think we will see are people looking at giving away the interest in their business earlier than they might otherwise have done. And spreading share ownership around a family, even during their lifetime. And inheritance tax can be an unexpected liability. What I mean by that is that somebody can die at an unexpected time. So perhaps the insurance market and insuring against these unexpected liabilities is something that's going to see a bit of a boost as well. But it's certainly a significant change. The final area that I also wanted to touch on that I think will affect business owners is pension savings. And it's been suggested that unused pension savings will become subject to inheritance tax with effect from the 6th of April 2027. Now, there is a consultation process out there that will no doubt lead to some detailed provisions, but there are some examples in the budget guidance notes that were published yesterday, and they are quite simple and straightforward. And what it could mean is that somebody, if they had £1 million worth of pension savings and they died not having touched those pension savings, that they will now be subject to a £400,000 inheritance tax liability. So again, that is a significant change, because I think that there are many business owners out there who may have viewed their pension savings as a fund of last resort, because previously they would have been looking on it as something that they could have passed on to next generation, or others, without there being an inheritance tax liability. And it looks like that is no longer going to be the case. So again, a significant change. What I think it will mean is that business owners and others will be out there reassessing their strategy, their financial strategy with regard to their pension savings. Do they put as much in as they hitherto have done? And what is the strategy and timetable for withdrawing their pension savings? We don't, at the moment, we don't know whether this inheritance tax liability is going to be in addition to the income tax liability that many beneficiaries of pension savings that were passed on would have faced when they actually drew the savings, or whether it's going to be in substitution to it. So we need to wait and see what the detail is, but it's going to mean, as I say, that a number of business owners and others will be reassessing their strategy as regards their pension savings and withdrawal of what they have saved up. So in conclusion, for me, it was a budget that was definitely big on tax, and big on tax on business owners. And in response, no doubt big changes will be required, and there'll be some big decisions to make. So for me, that is my conclusion on what the budget has meant for people in business. Thanks.